Hello everyone, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Keisha and today I'm going to be doing a Christmas book haul. It's always a fun time of the year whenever you get books, so I had to share some of the books that I got for Christmas with you guys. I was going to do a little more of a Christmas haul, but I haven't gotten all of my presents yet because I'm still waiting to have Christmas with my family. For those of you who may not know, my dad is currently in the hospital with Legionnaire's disease, which is a rare type of pneumonia. He has been fighting for his life and doing a great job of it because he's improving every day. And so we still haven't had Christmas with my family yet, but I wanted to mention this so those of you who are praying types or prayer warriors out there could pray for my dad and my family, if you don't mind. So I may get some more books for Christmas. I think I'm definitely getting a Bible dictionary as well as another Bible commentary, but I'll just share those in a later video. But if you don't mind, just please pray for my dad and my family during this difficult season for us. But again, my dad is doing better every day, so hopefully he'll be home soon. Sorry to start the video with kind of a sad moment, but we're gonna flip it around now and I'm gonna share with you all some of the books that I got for Christmas. I am gonna share a couple of other items as well, but for the most part, it's just gonna be books. I did get some other really fantastic gifts, but I'm gonna mostly be sharing books here because I feel like that's what everybody's here for. So I did get the sweatshirt that I'm wearing for Christmas from my brother and sister-in-law. It says "Trust in the Lord" and it's embroidered. And I really love it because I've been wanting more like Christian apparel that's very minimalistic. So I really love this one and it's a very fitting season for me to have this as well. And then I wanted to share, if you all know my love of Belladonna and Foxglove, that series is just like my favorite thing in the world. It is a romantasy series that's a little bit gothic. And it's just like my favorite thing. And there is a romance that takes place in the book and the person calls the main character, Signa, he calls her Little Bird. And every time he's like, "Hello, little bird." And it's just like the cutest thing ever. And my husband got me this shirt that says, it's embroidered. I love the embroidered, like if you can't already tell. It says "Little Bird" on it and it's got like, I don't really know if that's like belladonna, but it's got the little, you know, floral right there. And I'm just so excited that now I get to be Little Bird. And it's just the cutest thing ever. So this might be my favorite gift just because, like I said, I have a like hyper fixation on that series right now. So I really love it. Another thing that I wanted to share, and this is like the only other thing that's not, it's bookish, but it's not just a book. This is a book box. Every year, my in-laws always get me like a blind date with a book box, and I love that. So this year, I wanted to keep this together to show you all kind of what the blind date with the book looked like. I'm not sure where this is from specifically, but it was wrapped really pretty. So it's got a little book sticker that's holding it together, and you open it up and it says "Merry Christmas," and this is actually from their dogs. And when you open it up, this is kind of what it looks like. And so what I got was a pair of, I can't explain to you like how soft these socks are, but they're just this like tan color, really soft socks. Then I also got some sea salt caramels that are like homemade, it looks like. So those look delicious. And then there was this little burlap satchel in there and it has Land of the Lakes Chocolate Supreme Cocoa Mix. And then there is also a little lemon ginger and manuka honey tea. And I love lemon ginger and honey. Like that's one of my favorite things, especially when I'm sick, to drink because it's got healing properties. So then the last thing before the book is this, which I haven't opened this. So we're going to open this together because I've been keeping it together so you guys can see what it looked like. But there's a little bookmark with an annotation key in there. So that's really cute. It's got different things you can annotate based on the colors. But let me take it out so you can see it a little bit better. So there is the little bookmark with the annotation key and the little different color tabs. And then it also came with, is this a bookmark too, this thing? I don't know, maybe this is bookmark too, or just something, I don't know. It's a little thing that you can write a book review for each Like, there's 6 books you can write reviews for on here. So that's pretty cool. And then it also came with some stickers. And I don't know, like, if they asked. I don't think they probably asked for, like, my Goodreads or anything like that. I don't know that my in-laws would know where to get that anyways. But regardless, I know the book wasn't on my Goodreads, but I haven't read it. And I don't know yet if I'm going to. Well, oh, the mailman's out there. But anyways, do we get mail? No, we don't have mail today. Okay. So I don't know if I'm going to read this book or not. I've heard about it. I've heard mixed things about it. I don't know if it's going to be a Keisha book, but I'm going to share it with you and we'll find out together if I'm going to read it. So it's The Atlas 6 by Olivie Blake. It's good that I haven't read it because, you know, there's always a chance that now that I own it that I could. It is a beautiful book. I love the end pages in this one. I don't know if this is like the normal edition or a special edition, but if it is the normal edition, they killed it. But all that I really know about this is that it follows these 6 people who are, well, it says secrets, betrayal, seduction, power, welcome to the Alexandrian society. It's about these 6 people who are trying to get into the society, and 5 will get in and 1 won't. And I don't really know anything else about it other than that. I know there's magic in this one. I think my fears with this one are, 1, that the writing is just going to be too dense for me and that I'm not really going to grasp it or be able to get into it because it's too pretentious writing, because that's something that I've heard. Another thing I'm not sure about is just with the magic system. I don't know if there's a lot of dark magic in here, but there's some elements in books that I just don't want to read anymore, and I don't know if that's interweaved in here. So maybe if you've read this or know more about this, you can let me know down in the comments below. Next up, I'm going to share the books that my husband got me for Christmas, and then we'll get into some gifts that I was sent in the mail from some friends. So I do have quite a few cozies in this entire haul, so just bear with me because I love some cozies, and that's really what I wanted this year. So the first book that I have is Mayhem at the Orient Express by Kylie Logan. This is the first book in a series. It says, at a local Chinese restaurant, it's the owner who gets taken out. And this is a League of Literary Ladies mystery. It's about these women who are, well, let me just read the back for you because I think the back is really cute. Most folks aren't forced by court order to attend a library book discussion group. But that's just what happens to B&B proprietor and ex-Manhattanite B. Cartwright, hippie cat lover Chandra Morrissey, and winery owner Kate Wilder after a small-town magistrate has had enough of their squabbling. South Bass, an island on Lake Erie, is home to an idyllic summer resort, but these 3 ladies keep disturbing the peace. The initial book choice is Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express, and that sets their mouths to watering. The Orient Express is the island's newest Chinese restaurant. They might not agree about much, but the ladies all love, all love the orange chicken on the menu. But their meal is spoiled when the restaurant's owner, Peter Chan, has the bad fortune of getting murdered. Now, with Christie as their inspiration, the League of Literary Ladies has a real mystery to solve, if they can somehow catch a killer without killing each other first. I feel like the banter, or maybe banter's not the right word because I know that's used in romance, but like just the bickering between these ladies is going to be funny and humorous, and I am just really excited for that and for them to kind of team up to solve this mystery. I haven't heard anybody talk about this one, but I assume it's probably going to follow Agatha Christie's book, so this one would be following Murder on the Orient Express. I don't know if it's going to have any spoilers for any of her books, but I know that I'm not going to read all of them, so if it does spoil, it'll be okay. But maybe if you have read this one and you know if it's going to spoil anything about her series, like any plot twists or any reveals or anything, just let me know. The next cozy that I have is T is for Trouble by Karen Sue Walker. I love this cover. It is so cute and like, I don't know if vintage is the right word, but it just is very cozy. This is the first book in a haunted tea room cozy mystery, and it follows our main character April May, and she ends up buying this huge Victorian home, and she wants to open a tea room complete with lace tablecloths, exotic teas, and little sandwiches. But from the moment she moves in, nothing goes right. The townsfolk really aren't interested in a tea room, and she has this list of licenses and permits that are endless that she's having to go through. But a dead body turns up in her home, and the police accuse April of murder, so she has to team up with a cranky bar owner and a young antiques expert to solve the crime. But there's also a French chef in her kitchen that is a ghost, and she hasn't quite figured that out yet, whether it's a ghost or a hallucination, but nonetheless, he is adding a French twist to her menu. The next cozy I have is Booked for Death by Victoria Gilbert. This is a book lovers B&B mystery. I heard the ladies from the Cozy Mystery ladies on YouTube. It's Cortagonist and Intentionally Bookish, and there's one more that I don't remember her name, but it's mainly those two ladies. They did a Cozy Escape Awards, Cozy Mystery Awards thing, and I watched it, and this was either the winner or pretty close to it. It was one of the top picks for the Cozy Escape Awards, and so I had to add it to my list. It's a book lover's B&B in an idyllic waterfront village, and it becomes the scene of a grisly murder and a ruthless battle between treachery and the truth. This takes place in Beaufort, North Carolina at Chapter's Bed and Breakfast, and it is a reader's paradise. Built in 1770, the newly renovated inn hosts a roster of special events celebrating books, genres, and authors. It's the perfect literary retreat until a rare book dealer turns up dead in the carriage house during a celebration of Golden Age mystery author Josephine Tay. The victim's daughter points the finger at 42-year-old widow and former school teacher Charlotte Reed, who inherited the B&B from her great aunt Isabella. Charlotte is shocked to discover that the book dealer suspected Isabella of being a thief who founded Chapters on her ill-gotten gains. Charlotte has successfully learned the B&B business in a year, but nothing has prepared her to handle a death on the premises. I'm really excited to read this one. I love the B&B element of this, so hopefully it's a good one. Okay, we're going to switch off the cozies for a minute. The last three books that my husband got me are all three, well, they're not all three different genres, but at least two different genres. The first one is romance, so this one is Falling Slow, a Ponderosa Falls Wilderness Resort romance by Sydney Muse. This is hopefully going to be a fun, clean cowboy romance. I have been looking for a cowboy romance to read, or kind of a cowboy romance. Not like a full-on, but like this is set on a ranch. The girl's afraid of horses, so the guy's going to have to try to help her try to like ride a horse and stuff. And I know Elsie Silver's really popular and some other people, but like I want a clean romance. So this says, one failing ranch, one little bet, two people determined not to fall in love. Naomi Myers never should have moved back home. Now she has a front row seat for her parents' divorce and her father's bad moods. To make matters worse, a cowboy shows up at her family's mountain resort on a horse. And if there's anything she hates, fears, dreads, despises, it's horses. Clint Lovelace knows a thing or two about life getting worse. After a family tragedy leaves him in charge, all he wants to do is save his family's horse ranch by clinching a business deal with the local resort. A simple business deal that turns complicated when it lands him in the middle of a bet. Winning that bet could save his ranch and seal the business deal of a lifetime, but first he has to teach Naomi Myers, the world's sweetest Spitfire, how to ride a horse without letting it lead to anything else. The resort owner's daughter is definitely off limits. Falling for her could make everything else fall apart, no matter how much opposites attract. The next couple books I have are both fantasy. I do have the last book that I needed in the Harry Potter illustrated series. This is The Order of the Phoenix. I love these. They are very heavy, but I love the illustrations. Those are the end papers. I'm going to end up messing this up because it's so heavy. These are the end papers, and there are illustrations throughout, and I love the artist, but I know that he has stopped because of some mental health concerns. He has just felt like he's not able to continue, and so I'm not really sure who's going to pick up the mantle and continue on with this, but I do plan to still collect them as they go through the rest of the books in the illustrated edition, because this is how I want to read them all. I've only read the first 3.5 Harry Potter books, and I feel like having them illustrated is going to help me get into them more. I'm just not a huge series girl. I'm getting more into series, but the longer the series, the less likely I am to pick it up. And because I've seen all of the Harry Potter movies, I feel like I know there's things in the books that expound upon things that the movie does not, but I don't know. I guess that there's just like not a huge desire for me to read them all, but at some point I would like to, and I would like to in illustrated format. The last book that my husband got me is A Forgery of Roses by Jessica S. Olson. I'm really excited for this one because this is going to be an upcoming buddy read for me and a couple of friends. And the reason that I wanted to read this, the main reason, is that it was blurbed by Adeline Grace, who wrote Belladonna. And I have been trying to find a romantasy series that I love as much as that one, and I haven't found it yet. So Adeline Grace blurbed this and said, marvelously magical and steeping with mystery. So if you haven't heard of this one, it says, Myra Whitlock has a gift, one many would kill for. She's a portrait artist whose paintings alter people's bodies, which is a talent some would kidnap, blackmail, and worse to control. Guarding that secret is the only way to keep her younger sister safe, now that their parents are gone. But one frigid night, the governor's wife discovers the truth and threatens to expose Myra if she does not complete a special portrait that would resurrect the governor's dead son. Once she arrives at the legendary stone mansion, however, it becomes clear the boy's death was no accident. A killer stalks these halls, one disturbingly obsessed with portrait magic. Desperate to get out of the manor as quickly as possible, Myra turns to the governor's older son for help completing the painting before the secret she spent her life concealing makes her the killer's next victim. This sounds like it's going to be really good. It sounds like there may be some gothic vibes. I love that it takes place in a manor or a mansion. There is potential for a budding romance with the older son. There is some light magical elements in this one. There's a mystery. So hopefully this will fill the void that is left by Belladonna. Next up, I have some gifts from some sweet friends of mine. The first one is from my friend Gwen, and this is The Letter Tree by Rachel Fordham. I'm really excited for this book. It's probably going to be my first read in the new year. This may come as a surprise to some of you, but this is a historical romance, which I do not really read a lot of, if any at all. I've read a couple here and there, and I think I've enjoyed them for the most part, but historical's not always like really my thing. But I really would like to try this one. I heard Oshina from Oshina Gotta Read 'Em All talking about this one, and I knew that I had to pick it up. She also, I think, doesn't love historical romance, but she's found some that she's loved, so hopefully this will be one that I love as well. So let me tell you what this one's about, because there are a couple things that just really drew me in with this one. I'll tell you some buzzwords before I go into the full synopsis on the back, but this does take place in the 1920s for the most part. It also takes place, at least in some part, at the Buffalo Zoo. It also has to do with this tree where I believe there are some letters exchanged and a romance that takes place. And it's also supposed to be pegged as Romeo and Juliet meets You've Got Mail. Mere words can't end their family's feud, but the Campbell heir and the Bradshaw heiress plan to write a future together. Buffalo, New York, 1924. Laura Bradshaw adores stories with happily ever afters, but since her mother died 7 years ago, the Bradshaw Shoe Company heiress has been as good as locked away in a tower. Her overbearing father cares little for her dreams, throwing himself instead into his tireless takedown of his competitor, the Campbell Shoe Company. However, Laura has been gifted with a reprieve, a mysterious friend with whom she's been exchanging letters. As heir to the Campbell Shoe Company, Isaac Campbell is a sought-after bachelor who has never felt an inkling of desire for the women who constantly bat their eyes at him. His thoughts are consumed by an oak tree in the Buffalo Zoo, or rather the mystery woman he exchanges letters with courtesy of the tree. She's been one of Isaac's only joys in a life consumed by his father's tireless hatred of Bradshaw, a hatred that Isaac is coming to realize may affect him more personally than he ever imagined. When Laura's father orchestrates a match between her and an important business owner, she resolves to pursue her only chance at freedom. But Isaac believes their story isn't bound for a tragic end. He's certain there's more to the Bradshaw-Campbell feud than meets the eye, and he won't stop digging until he uncovers the truth that might bridge the divide between him and the woman whose words have captured his heart. You cannot tell me that that does not sound like such a sweet story. Oh my gosh, I hope that I love this as much as I am excited for it. Next up, I have a couple of gifts from my friend Yvette. First up, she sent me The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett, but this is the Mina Lima edition. So if you are not familiar, which if you're not, I feel like you've probably been living under a rock, but if you're not familiar with the Mina Lima editions, they are these gorgeous editions that have some interactive elements in the book. So this opens up to give a map of the manor. From The Secret Garden, there is a Meri's cutout wardrobe, like little cutout paper doll, which is really cute. There are illustrations throughout again, but there's also, again, these magical elements, these pop-up elements, but they are pretty magical too. So there you get to open and go into the Secret Garden. Very, very cute. I'm so thankful to add this to my Secret Garden collection. This is one of my favorite classics, and I have decided to collect all the beautiful editions of it. So thank you, Yvette, for adding to that collection. She also sent me A Cross Country Wedding by Courtney Walsh. So I read A Cross Country Christmas, not this past Christmas, but the one before, and it is one of my favorite romances of all time and my favorite Christmas romance of all time. I loved the trope of the best friend's brother. I loved the road trip element and the banter between the main characters. And this is the follow-up to that. I think it follows other characters from the series, and you see glimpses of the initial couple from the first book in this one. And I believe it takes place over a summer road trip. It starts off at Christmas, but it quickly jumps into summer, so I'm going to save it until then. Also, Yvette just recently read Across Country Christmas, and she loved it, which is great because we don't always match up on what romances we like, but that one we for sure did. So maybe we can buddy read this one pretty soon. Next up, this isn't so much a haul of a book that was a gift. Well, I guess it was a gift. This was a gift from the author, but I just got this in the mail from Hope. So Lindsay Currie wrote a lot of spooky middle grade, but this time around she is writing this kind of mystery adventure called The Mystery of Locked Rooms. And I've heard that this is great for fans of the, what's the book called? The Escape from Mr. Limoncello's Library, which I read actually for middle grade book club one year when I was hosting that with some kids in my area. And I feel like this is going to be a really good one. It says it's a fast-paced mystery adventure in which best friends must solve a series of impossible riddles or risk losing everything. Very excited for this one. Lindsay sent an ARC for me and a couple of friends to pass around, so Hope just sent this to me. So I'm very excited to get to this one in the new year. The release date for this one, if I can find it, it's usually on the edge. Oh, it comes out in April of 2024. So hopefully I'll be able to get to it before then and give you guys a review. Then I got this box set of the Remnant Chronicles by Meri E. Pearson. So I'll take each book out and show you, but these are from my friend Zoe. This was such a pleasant surprise, and it came at a great time as well. So the first one is The Kiss of Deception. The second one is The Heart of Betrayal. And the third one is The Beauty of Darkness. I am hoping to really love this series. I am still kind of finding my footing in fantasy and figuring out what I like. And things that I used to think I didn't like, I like now, because you used to would hear me say that I really don't care about reading about fae or fairies. And I think I just didn't really know what I was getting into. And now I enjoy that, but it has to be done the right way, and it has to be tasteful, and there has to be not a lot of smut. So I'm hoping this series is going to be a good one. It follows this girl who, she's the first daughter of the House of Morgan. Her name is Princess Leia. She's 17, so this is YA. And she runs away because she's about to have this arranged marriage. But when she runs away, there are these two people that she meets along the way. One of them is the jilted prince that I think she's supposed to marry, and the other is an assassin sent to kill her. But she doesn't know who's who, and so I think there's going to be a little bit of a love triangle in here as well. I've heard great things about this series. It has been around for quite some time. I think probably in 2017 is when this one came out, because that was right before I started BookTube a couple years after that. So I think, let's see. Oh, it's actually been around for longer. So 2014 is when it came out. So definitely heard a lot about this one in my early BookTube days, and I'm excited to give it a try. Next up, I got this Advent devotional called The Greatest Gift, Unwrapping the Full Love Story of Christmas by Voskamp. And this was sent to me by my friend Ashley. Unfortunately, with the chaos of the season and also with just like the things happening with my dad and my family and everything, I was not able to get through this one this year, but hopefully I will be able to pick it up next December. Okay, now we're going to end the video like we started the video, with a bunch of cozies. So this one is from my friend Rachel, and this was actually part of a book exchange that my friend Gwen did in her Patreon. We did a Christmas book exchange, and Rachel was my secret Santa, and this was part of the gift that I got from her. She also got me some hot cocoa bombs and a cute little bookish mug. But this book I'm really excited for. It's Night of the Living Dead by E.J. Coppermam, and is the first in the Haunted Guest House Mystery series. This reminds me so much of the TV show Ghosts. There is a BBC show called Ghosts, and then there is an American adaptation that's on CBS, and I absolutely love it. So this story follows newly divorced Allison Kirby, and she wants a second chance for herself and her 9-year-old daughter. So she's returned to her hometown on the Jersey Shore to transform a fixer-upper into a charming and hopefully profitable guest house. But when a bump on the head leaves her seeing not only stars but spirits, Allison realizes the real challenge she's facing is out of this world. The two residing ghosts are Maxie Malone, the foul-tempered former owner of the house, who has definite opinions about Allison's design plans, and Paul Harrison, a private eye who'd been working for Maxie. Both died in the house on the same night. The official cause of death was suicide, but the ghosts insist they were murdered, and they need Allison to find out who killed them, or the next ghost in the guest house will be Allison herself. Next up, from my friend Jordan, I got Death in Castle Dark by Veronica Bond. I believe this is her favorite cozy mystery, and so I'm really excited to read this one. It's the first in a dinner and a murder mystery series. It says actor Nora Blake finds her dream job when she is cast in a murder mystery troupe that performs in an imposing but captivating old castle. When she stumbles upon a real murder, things take a nightmarish turn in this first book in an exciting new series. Next up, from my friend Kayla, I got Chapter and Curse by Elizabeth Penney. This is the first in a new series as well. I don't know if it's called the Chapter and Curse series or what. It doesn't say on the cover, but it says Molly Kimball is used to cracking open books, but when a poetry reading ends in murder, she must use her skills to crack the case. So Molly Kimball is a librarian, and her mother, Nina, they both need a change. So when a letter arrives from Nina's Aunt Violet in Cambridge, England, requesting their help running the family bookshop, they jump at the chance. Thomas Marlowe, Manuscripts and Folios, is one of the oldest bookshops in Cambridge, and unfortunately, customers can tell. When Molly and Nina arrive, spring has come to Cambridge, and the famed Cambridge Literary Festival is underway. Determined to bring much-needed revenue to the bookstore, Molly invites Aunt Violet's college classmate and famed poet Persephone Brightwell to hold a poetry reading in the shop. But the event ends in disaster when a guest is found dead, with Molly's great-aunt's knitting needle used as the murder weapon. While trying to clear Violet and keep the struggling shop afloat, Molly sifts through secrets past and present, untangling a web of blackmail, deceit, and murder. Next, I got a couple of books from my friend Hannah. The first one is The Rocky Road to Ruin by Meri Allen. I believe Hannah read this one and enjoyed it. I think she's read a couple books in the series. I think I remember her reading the one that's Halloween. So I'm really excited for this one. I've been back and forth with it, but I don't know. The covers really pull me in. I don't know if I like ice cream shop or like foodie type mysteries. I really gravitate more towards like bookish ones or ones about writers, but I really am wanting to try more. So I put this on my wish list, and Hannah got it for me. It says, Justice Will Be Swirled by amateur sleuth Riley Rhodes in the first in Meri Allen's brand new mystery series. Riley Rhodes, travel food blogger and librarian at the CIA, makes a bittersweet return to her childhood home of Penneyman, Connecticut, land of dairy farms and covered bridges, for a funeral. Despite the circumstances, Riley's trip home is sprinkled with reunions with old friends, visits to her father's cozy bookshop on the town green, and joyful hours behind the counter at the beloved, utterly delicious ice cream shop. It feels like a time to help her friend Caroline rebuild after her mother's death, and for Riley to do a bit of her own reflecting after a botched undercover mission in Italy. After all, it's always good to be home. But Caroline and her brother Mike have to decide what to do with the assets they've inherited. The ice cream shop as well as the farm they grew up on, and they've never seen eye to eye. Trouble begins to swirl as Riley is spooked by reports of a stranger camping behind the farm and by the odd behavior of the shop's mascot, Caroline's snooty Persian Sprinkles. When Mike turns up dead in the barn the morning after the funeral, the peace and quiet of Penneyman seems upended for good. Can Riley find the killer before another body gets scooped? Okay, I love the puns. And the next book that Hannah got me is Verse and Vengeance by Amanda Flower. This is the fourth book in the Magical Bookshop Mystery Series, and I love this series so much with my whole heart. I'm planning to read the third book in January, and then this one looks like kind of a spring or summery book, so I'll plan to read this one then. I will say that the first three books in this series are like cozy size, so they're like this. And then the last few books in the series that have come out are this size. And I'm like, so they're going to sit on my shelves like this, but there's nothing you can do about it. That happens a lot in Cozy Mystery series. I'm not really sure why they changed to paperback, but I love this series so much, I think I can get past it. But this is just a series that follows a girl and her grandmother in Cascade Springs, which is not too far from Niagara Falls, and they own this magical bookshop, and it is just a beautiful story, and I love the mystery in it, and I don't know, it's just very whimsical, so if that's your vibe, definitely check the series out. Next up, I got Lost Coast Literary by Ellie Alexander, and this was sent to me by my friend Elizabeth. She loves this one, and I feel like I'm going to as well. When an editing pen has the power not only to change stories, but also to change lives. So I think there is a magical realism element here. Book editor Emily Bryant finds herself unexpectedly in the charming town of Cascada on California's Lost Coast, holding the keys to her grandmother's rambling Victorian mansion. While sorting through her grandmother's things, Emily learns that she must edit old manuscripts to inherit the estate. It's a strange request from a family member who is basically a stranger. Emily quickly realizes that there's something different about these manuscripts. Any changes she makes come true. At first, she embraces the gift. She has a chance to help characters find true love or chart a new course for their future. But then things go terribly wrong. Her edits have the opposite effect. The sweet and funky seaside community of Cascada is reeling from the chaos Emily has created. Everything she thought she believed about her family and her past is in jeopardy, and no amount of editing can fix the damage she's done. Then she finds one last manuscript. If Emily can get this edit right, maybe she'll have a chance to create a new narrative for herself and everyone around her. And the final book in this haul and the final cozy is from my friend Hope, and this is A Murder for the Books, a Blue Ridge Library mystery by Victoria Gilbert. I think I have a couple of books by her. Hold on. I think one of these others was by her, and I haven't tried her yet, but I feel like she seems like she's going to be a good one because she writes bookish ones. So this one was also by Victoria Gilbert, Book for Death. But Murder for the Books has been on my radar for a while. It follows librarian Amy Weber, who must archive overdue crimes and deadly rumors before a killer strikes again in her new Virginia home. So hopefully I'll love this one too. And those are all of the books that I got for Christmas. I hope that you enjoyed seeing this haul. You'll have to let me know if you've read any of these down in the comments below, and if you think that I'm going to enjoy them, or let me know which ones you're like itching to hear my thoughts on. There are lots of cozies, and I'm sure it's going to take me quite a while to get to them because I already have a lot of cozies on my shelf. But apparently that's going to be my genre for the next year as well, because it has definitely been my genre for the past one. But like I said, I have a couple I'm really excited about. You may see a couple on my January TBR pretty soon. But if you made it this far in the video and you want to leave a comment down below, you can leave a Christmas tree emoji since this was, or a present emoji, either one, since this was a Christmas book haul. But I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, friends.